Group D, Meta Madness continues, and we have the appearance of the Vinland Raiders. Raiders are playing for the first time in the group. They had some people missing on the first day of Group D and were asking to play all of their matches on the second day, so they have to play 3 best-of-5s in a row, which makes the group also fairly interesting. For Team Madness, it's a bit of an awkward position because they already lost 2 of their best-of-5 series. I mean, again, they are the amateur team that joined, so they are up against some huge favorites either way, but it is nearly impossible for them to make it out of the group at this point. For the Raiders, on the other hand, every single map here matters, since they not only want to get out of the group, they're also aiming for the #1 spot, and they have some serious contenders they are fighting for that. It should make for some very, very interesting matches today. But again, Meta Madness, as usual, a short explanation. So Meta Madness has some special tournament rules that make the entire event pretty unique. The first rule is that for the group stage we have 10 heroes that are completely banned, they cannot be chosen. For the playoffs there will be more heroes, so these 10 only apply to the group stage itself. And in addition to that, every single hero that gets picked can only get picked once within a series. So every hero that gets played on map #1 cannot be played anymore in game 2, 3, 4, or 5, and so on and so forth. So as you progress through a series, less and less heroes are available, and that makes things fairly interesting. Now, also, quick reminder, all of this is made possible by the people supporting the stream and the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor, so a big shout out to all of the supporters over there. If you would also like to help to keep the Heroes of the Storm scene alive and create more events like this in the future, not only Meta Madness, but also the previous ones that we hosted here, then check out the link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, or go straight to patreon.com/Khaldor. Very much appreciated, and again, without it, events like this one wouldn't really be a thing. Game #1, we get a ban on Zarya. That starts off pretty early. Hanamura is the map that gets banned, and that gets played, and also on the ban list is Sylvanas. She is by now used to it, I would say. She's probably the most banned hero in the group stage. Liming and Muradin, and you might have already caught on to the fact that Cure is playing for the red team. So Cure's been talking to me before Meta Madness was launched and was immediately like, hey, Meta Madness is coming in again, I want to play. So he's been talking to teams, and I'm not sure if he is part of the main roster for the Raiders or if he's subbing in for them today and he's one of the sub players, but time will tell if he can play with them regularly. And big shout out to Cure again, one of the few players, pretty much the only one that is willing to play from North America on the European server. All of the other NA players don't really like to play with the ping disadvantage, so it's mostly the Europeans that participate in North American competitions when there are any, but on the other side we don't see it all that much. So Cure is an exception there, and a big shout out for him to commit to all of that. Now, in regards to the picks, we actually get Joanna in game #1 and Nuburak Dehaka at the front line. Now, with Rhaegar getting banned, this is a bit of a common theme against the blue team. Ana gets eliminated since we have Li Ming, so the nano-boosted Nano is somebody that you don't want to necessarily deal with here, so it's a good ban for this particular series. Might see her in the next few games though. But when it comes to the side lane, we still need a pick for the red team. And I'm also kind of curious to see what Garflo is going to pick, if we're going to see a Tracer for him later on. Well, we're already getting her right now, so okay. Tracer is getting picked by Garflo immediately, getting it out of the way straight up in game #1. We get Malfurion for the heals, no Tyrael at the front line, so they don't go for the holy trinity of Tracer compositions. But with Malfurion, she still has somebody that can assist her quite nicely with the overheal and allow her to go a little bit deeper. Now, double pick on the other side with Jimmy and Uther. Okay, so we had 3 supports banned, and they decide in favor of Uther in game #1. Curious. With Tracer on the other side, I'm a little bit intrigued to find out whether or not they're going for Divine Storm here. Normally you would think Divine Shield is going to be the option, but if they're really just trying to stun lock Tracer, that might be a thing. But again, time will tell. Last pick for the red team, Rexa. And with that, we are headed for game #1. Hanamura Temple, everybody. The Raiders against Team Madness. Game #1, Razak for the blue team playing Nuburak. We got Mo on Jaina, not prepared on Jimmy, Sephiroth on Uther, and Lunatic is playing Dehaka. On the right side of the map, for the first time now in Group D, Sven on Rexa, Cure with the account Cringe Kid on Murden. We got Unforgiven on Malfurion, Gavlo on Tracer, and Nano is playing Li Ming. So pretty nasty lineup that the red team is playing here. So Gavlo, of course, known for his Genji plays, for his Tracer. Genji being perma-banned for the group stage is not available, and therefore they're going for Tracer instead. So this is going to be a fairly interesting one. I'm actually very curious to see what Team Madness can do. They really surprised yesterday in some of the games that they played, but they also had a few where they got absolutely ruffle stomped, so you never really know what exactly you get, if their composition is working out for them or not. But at least here in the first one, we now get the ace in the hole for Jimmy. I wonder if they are picking Jaina because they're trying to get some extra synergy with him. Normally you don't really see that all that much, but it might have also entered their mind. Now the Hogger at the top is in real trouble, and that's first blood, as we have a quick kill coming in. Too many stuns for him to deal with, and Nubarak is now trying to go towards the top so that he can soak the experience and also assist in defending the wall and the gate. But down to the bottom of the map, we already have Li Ming shelling away another attack, this time onto Uther. Nicely done though. Uther, ooh, they might get him after all. Yeah, I was about to say they're all getting away, but well, not quite. They're going for Uther and they're taking him down. His hate for Snowman has finally found somebody that didn't like that at all. It's actually kind of interesting. Now you have somebody that absolutely hates Snowman and abandons them all the time. And he's playing with Jaina, who is probably gonna rock in the water elemental later. I don't really think that with the lineup that they have here, we're gonna get the ring. But the stuns are coming. A hyper-aggressive game so far from the Raiders. They're going really deep, and as Rexa is going for their own sentinel at the top, the blue team is trying to get the one at the bottom left, but there's consistently a red presence that is trying to, well, maybe invade or at least slow them down. So, yeah, they slowed it down slightly, but eventually the Sentinel gets taken. Now at the bot lane, they can push this a little bit further. Level 1, we got the easy prey, by the way, for Rexa. And also, as usual, the Emerald Dreams. So they are not really embracing the spirit of Meta Madness just yet. We're not getting Broccoli here, which I was actually very happy with, that we had quite a lot of Broccoli picks so far in the tournament. Sentinel power still there. Top side, it's a two-man defense for Team Madness, but that also means that at the bottom of the map they can't really push aggressively with that. We got the Hunter-Gatherer over here. We get the Thunder Burn, the double clap for Muradin. Therefore the healing static is going to kick in on level 4 for them. And it's just camps. So after the initial 2 kills, Team Madness is currently trying to stabilize a little bit. They're slightly behind in experience, and they're looking for kills, and they're gonna find one, as it seems. Yep, that's the end of Nano. Li Ming is down, and that's first blood for the blue team. Nicely done. They're getting their first kill, and up at the top, a few more camps and items are being gathered. Payload is being escorted around, though. Another quick stun, another hit. Once again, Uther. And Ubarak, another stun, and they can try to lock at least the bear down, but not just yet. Alright. So, we have the payload still escorted around a little bit. Another camp has been taken just a second ago, and now an opportunity to maybe get a few shots fired. But it's just slowly heating up here. So the teams are just testing the waters a little bit. Keep in mind, this is the first map in this group for the Raiders. So for them, it's really important that they're not having any big missteps at this point. They need to start strong with a victory here to make sure that they are not falling victim to one of the other teams that they still have to face off against later in the series, in the day, since they are aiming for the #1 spot in the group as well. The playoffs are going to be awesome, by the way. We already have so many good teams that qualified for the playoffs, but it's going to be glorious, especially since we have more than the 10 heroes banned that are pre-banned in the group stage. So that's going to make the games a lot spicier right from the get-go. Another good stun, nicely done. And Tracer, she doesn't like the direct damage from Jimmy at all. The camp is taken, so they're actually invading us and claim it. The Hogger at the top is able to get away as Sven was trying to attack again, and everybody is focused on the payload again. Now we got level 7 talents on both sides. Aspect of the Beast is in, and I just want to see him go full Misha with the old Bestial Wrath and go full Cocaine Bear with her. That's the one thing that we still need at this point. So, yeah, Only blood loss would make it even better. That's a nice engage. No chance for Malfurion. Really well done. The Hogger comes in at the perfect time, the perfect moment. Cuts off Malfurion. They stun him out and just murder him. 2 kills to 2. And Team Madness, I'm honestly impressed. Again, they came in as the underdog and they haven't won a series yet, but they have really done a great job in every single one that they played so far. And even here on the starting map, they're doing a pretty decent job in the early game. Now, can they maintain that throughout the mid and late game? It's a little bit questionable, but we'll see how far they can go and also what exactly the Raiders can pull off here. Since, again, they got something to prove. Misha down, the Haka safe. Payload gets escorted over a bit, but now we have the Sentinels. Oh yeah, Mirrodin gets dragged. QS get out of this one. Here comes the flank. The cavalry is there. But we not only have the Sentinel in play, there's also a turret that gets dropped immediately. And that might be the end of a Nubarak, and he gets wrecked. And Nubarak down. And they also, if I'm not mistaken, just dropped one of the items, or did they? I'm not quite sure, but there's another Stormbolt. The Root as a follow-up. Well done. Good CC chain against Uther. Yeah, and there's that momentum swing where the Raiders are showing their class. 5 kills to 2. Jimmy trying to get away. They invaded deep and they take him down as well. 6 kills by now for the red team, and they absolutely collapsed onto that top lane and showed no mercy here. Getting the heroic abilities helps them, of course, even further. They're trying to go deep again, but Anubarak dives out. The fort is gone, though. And down here, Li Ming is holding her own against Jaina. It's a bit of a mage battle at this point. You have some camps invaded, too. And yeah, they're definitely going to get this one, I'd say. Well, actually, now that the Haka's coming in and Li Ming is missing, it's a numbers advantage game for Team Madness, but they don't have level 10 abilities, so they're fighting without an ult. They're really trying, but they don't get heroics, and that is an absolute disastrous call in that sense. You need those heroics. At least when your opponent comes in with a 5th hero, then you need to back out. As long as it's a 4 versus 5, you can maybe make up for the lack of heroic abilities, but once that it is even numbers, you just have no chance there. So now we have 7 kills to 2. Level 10 is kicking in for Team Madness. They're getting the Raiders in. There's the Water Elemental. But I would be lying if I'd say that the Raiders don't have a big advantage at this point already. They did a good job early on. Here comes the stun, by the way. So indeed we are getting the Divine Storm. I was questioning what he would go for in the draft a little bit. You can make good arguments for both choices, but it seems like they're really trying to get that stun lock going, especially after Uther hits his level 16. They can try and take Tracer down. More camps about to be taken, so it's Sentinel time again, and there's an advantage for the red team already, simply because they get their camp, while down here we still have the blue team not going for theirs, so that push at the top lane is potentially gonna do some damage, and they could also invade this one, or at least slow it down. I mean, Cure is already here, so he's already threatening this a bit and saying like, hey guys, we're still here, do you really want to take that camp? But they are not being deterred at all, just go through with it and claim the camp, no problem. Sentinel on the bot lane now for them too. But top side, somebody has to defend. And now the Arca is coming in. There's the Divine Storm. Tracer dodging out on it though. Nicely done. And oh, yeah, if they could do this just a little better, then maybe it could end up with the kill on Tracer and the damage dealer being eliminated. But that's not the case here. So now they're going for Razak again. Also the Arca up at the front. He gets caught and killed. That is tough. Tough times now. It's a 2-level advantage and a talent lead. So, yeah, this is not going to be easy for them. One tower is already gone up at the top. Now that they get the shots fired, is also eliminating the fort at the bot lane. So in both lanes, we now have an advantage for the Raiders as they are pulling further and further ahead in game number 1 of this series. Yeah, now another tower down, and the second one will get dropped too. So very well done by the Raiders, and they're absolutely capitalizing on the advantages that they're running here, especially of course with the level 13 talent. They have a big lead over the blue team. Tracer herself at 21,000 damage, top damage in the game. Jimmy sitting at 16k, and here we are. The wall destroyed, an opportunity to maybe follow up with a kill and push this even further. Yeah, Misha comes in, a little bit of a suicide mission, but absolutely worth it since Anubarak gets destroyed. And they are still picking out the walls. They could go and steal some of the camps or just continue the siege down here. I mean, it's a numbers advantage. And once again, we have that route coming through after the Stormball hits from Muradin. If they are able to lock in more kills and stagger a few deaths on the blue team, then they might just be able to get that keep. But even just getting that damage connected is already worth it. They are starting to fall back now, though, as a new Barak is coming back. Don't want to end up against that. And now that we have up at the top a push straight for the camp, they're going to try and lock in another turret. Muradin gets cocooned, but I'm not quite sure if he's really the one that you are attacking there. Oh, Nubarak, no! He tries to get out, doesn't stand a chance, got locked down hard and dies again. He's having a tough time at the front line. The only one on the blue team that hasn't fallen yet is Jaina. Yeah, it's 15 to 12. And really dicey. If the Sentinel now gets stolen away too, that would be a real problem. And they're really fighting for it, but I'm not sure they can get it. It depends on Uther, but he is going down. Seems like the Haka is not going to make it either, and they're really just chasing them back. And with Sven now coming in and making this a 5 versus 4 essentially, they're not going to survive this. The Haka is already dead. Now with the quest completed, the Ice Block prolongs the life of Jaina a little bit, but that's not happening. Another kill as Jimmy gets dropped. Nicely done. The resets for Li Ming absolutely exploited. A 2-talent lead, as with 14 kills to 2, the Raiders are starting to make their move towards the core to end game number 1. We're 11 minutes in, the stun on Tracer, but Uther alone just cannot pull this one off. He's trying to escape here. The core is already falling. Great game by the Raiders as they are starting their journey in Group D of Meta Madness here at the group stage. We finally have the level 13 talents for the blue team, but it's not going to be enough. The Raiders with the victory on Hanamura, everybody. Nicely done, well played as we are headed towards game number 2. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Alright, off we go. Dragonshire, map number 2. I gotta laugh a little bit because we have a bit of a problem with Unforgiven. For some reason he keeps disconnecting when games are being started, when the draft is just ramping up. And Battle.net is double checking that all of the players are ready. He keeps disconnecting. And I'm just like sitting here and I was like, I am not going to do an intro every single time and then have him disconnect and then have to redo the entire thing. So I'm actually waiting just before the first team picks. So yeah, this is the most curious thing that we have right now. Nobody is like looking at like, okay, which team, what are they going to pick, which team is going to win? Everybody's sitting there thinking, is Unforgiven dropping again? And at least in this case, he didn't. So we have Dragonshire, map number 2. I like the map choice a lot. It was made by the Raiders simply because it is a map that requires you to be absolutely on point with your macro and your rotations on the map. And that is where I see the advantage for the Raiders. They are a much more experienced team than Team Madness, so they have an advantage. It's a very smart choice, therefore, what they just made. Keep in mind that 20 heroes are now unavailable in the draft. You have 10 heroes that are pre-banned for the entire group stage, and you have, on top of that, 10 heroes that were played in the previous game that can now not be taken anymore. Immediately a ban on 2 of the supports. I'm just waiting for a series where one of the teams comes in, game number 1, game number 2, bans all of the supports that they can, picks 3 or 4, and just eliminates as many as possible. And just, you know, the agent of chaos, a team that comes in as the underdog and is like, I don't understand why nobody's doing this. So put yourself into the shoes of an underdog for just a second. You're sitting there and you know, if it's a more or less straight up game, you're losing against your opponent. Your opponent is better, your opponent is more experienced. What do? If it's me, I am going to take an entire roll away in game number 1. I know I'm losing the game most likely anyways. I am picking 5 supports. And then I continue banning them. Because if I just unleash carnage, if I unleash chaos, then I have a chance of winning. All of a sudden, you know, it's just crazy. All of a sudden, it is bonkers. We've seen no healer games already in this tournament, but it always happened in map 5 and, you know, nothing was really available and teams were pushing for it. But if I'm the underdog, I start the shit on game number 1. Right there. And I'm going to make sure that my opponent has to come down to my level. If I'm the quick match team, I'm going to make sure it's quick match. So, yeah, not quite there yet, but one can hope. I'm really surprised though that nobody has gone for a strategy like this yet. I mean, this is the 7th edition of Meta Madness, and we saw crazy games in all of the tournaments. But nobody has come in and has just said from the get-go, let chaos reign. So, everybody, yeah, you will see. We get our tennis though in Dragonshire. That is an interesting choice, I would say. Anna, Atanis, Falstad. The birdie as a global is great, but Atanis this early... The fact of the matter still is Atanis sucks. You have too many good side laners that are still available to say, okay, Atanis is going to be the one that you play. Urel is still available. Like, hey, come on, give me a break. You pick Atanis over Urel? At that point, I gotta ask you, what is wrong with you? Atanis later in the tournament, yes, sure, I mean, this is Meta Madness after all. Unleash it. But in game number 2, when Urel is still available, nah. But alright, maybe they have a strategy. Murky and Atanis? Octograb Laser? I really like though when in some of the previous matches we had the Hinterland Blast for Falstad, especially that Cursed Hollow game, where everybody lined up and a Falstad got, I think, 3 ults out in the same fight. Was absolutely crazy. So Tyrael and Zeratul, whew, I really hope that they're going to put Cure on Zeratul. Obviously he plays with a bit of a delay here as he plays cross-server, but I would love for him to show his Zeratul here. So we got Lucio, and that could honestly put us into a situation where they are going through big wombo fights with Tyrael Sanctification, the bubble, Zeratul could even just form something out. And they go for Vallera as well. That has never gone well in Meta Madness. Oh, maybe with Abathar I see it, but boy oh boy. Atanis main tank, I guess. So yeah, they're embracing the spirit. These boys are gonna have some fun. But Vallera, it's always... Vallera is at best a pub stomper. At best. Even there it's a bit questionable. But in an actual tournament, woof, that's a bold choice. So, let's go everybody. The final pick. We got Zul for the wave clear on the rotation between the lanes. Game number 2, Group D at Meta Madness. Game number 2, Razak on Cassia, not prepared on Falstad. We got Lunatic on Atanis, Sephiroth on Vallera, and Mo is playing Anna. On the right side of the map, Zeratul, played by Sven. We got Cure on Tyrael, Nano on Junkrat, Gavlo on Zul, and Unforgiven is playing Lucio. Honestly, looking at Unforgiven, I gotta say, just recently I started to listen to the Black Album again, and it is just fantastic. So the name really reminding me of that again. I haven't listened to it in years, honestly, and I can't even tell you why. But recently I just popped it back into the queue and listened to the entire thing, and it is just so damn good. And then you compare it with some of the music that is created these days, and it is just embarrassing. So yeah, absolutely awesome stuff. All hail Metallica. But we have, in this case now, our first blood already. Cassia goes down, so that's good news for Vallera. You might ask why, and it is pretty simple. Vallera didn't die first, so that's new. In most of the games where we had Vallera, she also became the first victim. But things are still not looking too good here for the Raiders. I gotta give it to Team Madness though. They embrace the madness. They embrace the tournament, and they are true to their name here. Picking Artanis Vallera in game number 2, that takes some big balls, and they are just coming through with the damage, looking for a couple of kills, and if they can pull it off with Vallera here, it would be kind of funny. But I think that they are going to struggle a fair bit. And it honestly seems that the Raiders, at least in game number 2, are still absolutely trying to just try hard this as much as they can. And I can't really blame them. This is the group stage. You want to make sure you end up with the #1 spot in the group, just so that you're able to get out as the first seed and have an easier time in the bracket. Lucio gets still crushed here, so that was a nice move from Madness, and they get their first kill. But the Raiders are definitely trying to be a little bit more aggressive in the way that they're playing this one out. try-harding a little bit more, but I can't really blame them for that. Already prepping for the later stages. Atanis is now taking the shrine at the top, so the teams are starting with their rotations here. We have level 4 as well, and with that, the earlier talent for the Raiders. We also got, in this case, the Divine Vigor and the Ardent Restoration, so more of a damage build for Tyrael as they're starting to be a bit more aggressive around him. Could even go into... I mean, honestly, I'm not really quite sure if they would go into Judgment here. Normally, Sanctification would still be the better choice, given their team composition. But it would be kind of cool if they're just going aggressive with him and start to do that. And for Cure, it would also be quite a bit more fun, I would assume. We have a lot of pressure at the bot lane, with the wall already getting destroyed here. Top side, Atanis is retaking one of the shrines, but while that happens, they have to really spend a lot of resources there. And Cassia goes down again. That's the second time that she gets eliminated. And now with Falset flying top, it seems like they're trying for Garflo, but that flip from Lunatic, unfortunately for him, didn't work out. He got close though. But at the bottom of the map, the first structure gets destroyed. Fort number 1 is gone 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. Yeah, the composition that we see for the blue team isn't really great for... I mean, you're getting sieged up a lot here. So the wave clear that we have from Zul alone is already making this a bit problematic for them. He can easily rotate between lanes and have the better position there. They're trying to gank up on him with either Falstad Atanis or Valera Atanis, and so far it hasn't really been working out. Especially, of course, since he gets assistance from Zeratul every now and then. Tyrael is still pushing at the bot lane a little bit more. We have in the middle, yeah, the waves still being pushed out, and it seems like this is going to be DK number 1. And yep, first objective is in. So the Raiders, they are the favorites already from the start, but they're also try-harding this a lot, whereas Madness is just saying, boys, we're going to embrace this. We're going to have some fun here. And with Valera they do, but I think she is... yeah, she's dead. Valera down. Blondie got destroyed. And I think the fort in the mid lane is gonna follow suit. So, there we go. I love how most of these guys, by the way, are absolutely true to their name. Not prepared yesterday, played Illidan. We have Team Madness playing some Mad Comms, and now Lunatic is playing Artanis. The only other way that I could see this name was Free XP. Then Artanis obviously would also be very fitting, but he's definitely Lunatic for picking him in game number 2 already. Trying to come in here with the Chrono Surge and the Psiotic Energy. With the second fort destroyed at the 4-minute mark, you can tell that things are not really going all too well for Team Madness. They're trying for another kill over here. Valera came in once again. Artanis attempting to swap himself out. Not bad. Not bad. Kudos to Lunatic. He made it out. So that is actually not too shabby. He was able to get out of the fight. I really thought that he would fall, but he just simply swaps himself out of the battle. And now Lucio... what? Lucio gets away. Unforgiven. Able to rush out. Damn. If I'm the blue team, I'm a little bit salty there. That looked like a guaranteed kill and they just couldn't get it. Level 10 abilities in just a couple of seconds. And, well, now the big question, of course. Judgment or no judgment? At this point, I want judgment. They're getting judgment. They're going for judgment. Me likey. Okay, so we got the Might of the Nerazim. We got judgment. And we got a Riptire behind it. Let the chaos begin. So Cure, I want to see some plays here. Going full Superman on this one. And just diving in deep, especially on the birdie. I mean, Falset is currently waiting for it, for sure. But, well, here we are. We got the bot lane about to be destroyed. Top side is getting pressured. In comes Zeratul. Oof, that wall is gonna suffer. Siege Giants and an entire 5-man that are breaking through it. The side wall is even opened up. Judgment, yes! But I don't think they can get that kill. Instead, Q is gonna fall. That was a bit too aggressive. And they're losing Lucio as well. So that's a double kill against the red team. A bit too eager, if you ask me. They really wanted that one and they couldn't get it. Maybe they're hungry and they wanted some chicken. I can certainly empathize. But now we have 4 kills to 3 in favor of Team Madness. Doesn't change the fact that their first keep is already taking damage down here. So structurally, they've definitely taken a backseat. But again, they get second kills, they close the gap in experience, at least to an extent. Their own level 10 abilities are now available too. Maybe even a Dragonite in the cards, probably not. Cure is interrupting this, Zeratul is up at the top, another quick interrupt coming. He's just buying time for the side laners to get one of the shrines back, denying the Dragonite to Team Madness. And so far, he is doing a good job. At the bottom, it is Junkrat who's able to grab this one. Top side, they're also trying to go for Artanis. And Artanis hasn't died yet, by the way, so that is already putting him ahead of most Artanis players that we've so far seen in the tournament. Just saying. Usually he becomes the punching bag of the game very, very quickly. In this case, we have him with the Suppression Pulse as his level 10 ability, and we get the Cloak of Shadows for Valla. The talent advantage goes to the Raiders, though, once again. So they have one, yeah, there's the swap attempt. Not quite working out, but Valla is saying hi too. They're trying again for Zul. Cassia has fallen at the bot lane. Over here, though, the battle continues, and it's 4 heroes that are trying to gank up on Zul. And with the help of Sven, he is making his way out. Zul is moving in, even trying to be aggressive, as the rest of the red team is just sitting at the bottom of the map, trying to get another camp. Lucio is moving up to help out. I'm not even sure they need him here. But he's still coming in, trying to assist them. But the bottom camp is about to be claimed. So it's a 4 versus 3 topside now. It's definitely a wild one. It's a wild game. 4 kills to 4, but they're now pushing in bot side even further, with Cassia being the only defender. But this obviously splits the attention of Team Madness very efficiently. They have to either go down and defend at the bottom or at the top, so they're likely going to lose structures either way. Maybe not anymore now, because they finally get their kill on Zul. It has taken them a lot of time, but they finally pulled it off. So, Zul is gone. We're now getting the War Matron. And even more plays made against the keep at the bot lane. Yeah, Falset is now coming in. But this is a ton of damage at the bottom keep. I mean, this thing is down to 50% HP. And Cure could literally sacrifice himself here, and currently it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. He's nice, trying to make his way back out, but gets gusted back in. I mean, right now you might just explode on the... You might as well just explode on the keep, I'd say. Is he getting out of this one? Cure trying to go for the Juke Master 2000 award, and he just falls short. So close, and yet so far. But he tied 2 of the heroes down at the bottom of the map. In the meantime, we have the attack at the top side coming in, and Artanis gets crushed. So after the keep at the bottom of the map has taken a ton of damage, now they're making a move for the top side forward. They are also closing in on level 16 talents, so that puts them even further ahead. With the skeletal mages in. Again, Valla with the attempted play. What's that damage, actually? Valla is sitting at 16,000. It's not too bad. Nothing crazy, but that's not too shabby. Puts her in the second highest damage spot on the blue team. We have 19,000 for Junkrat, 20,000 for Cassia. And Zeratul, yeah, he's starting to take over, as you can tell. They try to get the kill here, not quite. Sven is still enjoying this. Bone Spear's in, and now that level 16 has been reached by the red team, and they're going for another Dragonite, and this time it can't be taken away from them. Falstad isn't flying topside or anything like that. So we got another decay, and this should spell the end of the keep at the bottom of the map. So very likely they are now going to... actually, it seems to be a 2-pronged attack. They want to go for the keep in the middle and the one at the bottom. Nope. Dragonite is moving over. It was already a little bit of a weird move, but yeah, they are trying to go... They're going to get one keep, 100%. If they get kills here, they might even go for core. If they are able to move into the middle and take another keep down, it would also be a success. Either way, they are pulling heavily ahead with this little move here. 30 stacks by now for the Ardent Restoration on Tyrael, by the way. So he's stacking it up quite nicely. And they are attempting to go core. Now, if they can get kills, they might be able to pull that off, but now they're still struggling a bit. The birdie gets taken! Falstad is dead, so is Cassia, and here's the opportunity to end game number 1. They want Artanis, they get Artanis, the core is wide open, and this should be game. Keep in mind, if Tyrael dies, then he can also explode onto the core, and that will take another 5% off. So the defense nearly impossible, especially with Valla now about to get murdered. She barely escapes, but the core is already dropping in shield and HP. And this is the 2-0 lead for the Raiders as they are trying to go for a quick series here. Keep in mind they gotta play 3 best of 5s in a row today. Nicely done. GG. Well played. Game number 3. I got news for everyone. Unforgiven didn't drop. I am as surprised as you are, everybody. So, yep, we have Unforgiven not dropping out of the game here. And by the way, a little bit lazy, so we still have to go through some of the overlays. And it is a Tomb of the Spider Queen. But you probably didn't even notice that the overlay was not 100% perfect, but it's already adjusted. You know, we do it like this over here. It's like super quick. See mistake, fix mistake. Something that Blizzard should learn. Either way, now that we're heading into game number 3, we have the map choice this time made by Team Madness. So considering that they started to embrace the memes here, maybe that indicates that they're going for some kind of crazy composition here. So Stitches is currently banned and Kerrigan gets eliminated next. I'm trying to figure out what Madness is going to take, and I'm going to be blunt with you, I have absolutely no idea. I have no clue. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, couple of wave clear heroes, maybe they're gonna try and get a Cho'Gall here, but then the ban on Kerrigan doesn't really indicate that they're going to try and get this one done. We had some attempts lately to also put an Azmodan into play here, and Azebo has been a fairly common pick on Tomb of the Spider Queen in this format, so I'm curious. After game number 2, I'm really curious. And for the Raiders, as I said, it makes perfect sense that they're trying to accelerate these games a little bit and make him as quick as possible. The reason being that they play 3 best of 5s in a row today. So if they end up in a situation where they're memeing around a little bit too much and they lose a map or 2, then all of a sudden they would have to play a lot of games today. And they are trying to avoid this as best they can. I mean, worst case scenario, if you play 3 best of 5s, you play 15 maps in a row, and that can take ages. Now, in the group stage, that is highly unlikely, since again, there are skill gaps between the teams, for sure. But you still want to keep the amount of maps to a minimum, so that you're entering your last best of 5 series still rather fresh and not already completely exhausted and drained. Sonya and Mephisto as the first 2 picks for Team Madness. I'm actually a little bit confused by the way that they're drafting. On Tomb of the Spider Queen, they're going into a fairly standard opening, whereas on the other hand, approaching Dragonshire, they just went all out with Artanis, with Valla. So, yeah, not quite sure what the game plan here is. They go up against Varian and Chromie now. Unforgiven with Rhaegar. A lot of players and teams have banned Rhaegar away from the blue team. We have, I guess it could have gone into Varian Kharazim for 7-sided strike. Malfurion was already played, so he's not really an option anymore. Uther was played, so you don't have the stun. You could have gone Stukov. Stukov was neither played nor banned, so if they want to really go into a sniper composition, it could have been Stukov over Rhaegar just to give something to follow up on the taunt. But they of course have Chromie, and they got good burst damage from her. And Rhaegar, to be fair, with the totem build, he can also provide some CC, so it's not like, yeah, completely helpless with that. But we get Lunara banned out, no Bambi in game number 3. First match point, by the way, of course, for the Raiders. And final ban from the red team. What are they gonna get rid of here? I was kind of hoping they're not prepared. I might go for another Illidan pick, but I don't think they're going to do that on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So when I saw that, I was already like, yeah, it was like not happening. White Mane. Okay, no Inquisitor in this one. But the double pick for the blue team. Come on, boys. Like, where's the spice? Where's the secret sauce? Maiev? No, still no. I could have seen a Maiev also on the side of the Raiders. Just saying. But yeah, Maiev, Sonya, Mephisto behind it. Fairly standard, uneventful. They are the ones claiming Stukov now. I gotta admit, I don't get the match strategy for the team. I like what they're drafting here. Like, don't misunderstand me. I like the draft. They're going for a proper draft. They're really going for something that makes a whole lot of sense. But then at the same time, after I saw game number 2, I really thought they would just go into some crazy composition and be like, YOLO! And instead we're getting this. So, yeah, mixed signals that are being sent here from map to map. Malthael and Tychus. I mean, damn, they really want to take that hero down against Haunted. Last rights, Chromie, Tychus. Here comes Medivh trying to counterplay this a little bit, which puts Maiev, I suppose, into the main tank role. Yeah, so a bit of a twist towards the end of the draft, but either way, Tomb of the Spider Queen, everybody. Game number 3 between Madness and the Raiders. Team Madness with Razak on Mephisto, Lunatic on Sonya. I actually don't know how to pronounce him here, Lunatic or Lunatic. Either way, Mo on Stukov. We got Not Prepared on Maiev and Sephiroth on Medivh. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, I always called him Lunatic, and I have heard that pronunciation a lot, but technically you would pronounce it Lunatic, so I don't know where the first pronunciation comes from, but yeah, now I'm actually questioning myself over here. Either way, on the right team side, we get Sven on Tychus, Unforgiven on Rhaegar, Cure is playing Varian, Nano on Chromie, and Gavlo on Malthael, and we got Vision, the Raven's Intellect. Okay, so a little bit more mana and health regeneration. I'm just a bird. So he's gonna fly around all game long. He's gonna keep an eye, obviously, on his baseline. And yeah, down to the bot lane. Maybe a little bit of a trap. So let's see what we're gonna do with that. Either way, top side we are currently doing another little play for Murray maybe. Varian, we're gonna go full taunt on this one. I don't think that Cure is gonna go damage build on us. Give me that taunt. Varian has been practicing all day, every day in front of a mirror. I mean, he also has some pretty easy victims on the other side. If you're going up against Sonya, for example, as he does here, you know how to taunt Sonya. You just tell her over and over again that she has a face for radio. Which is the truth, but you can't handle the truth. She can't handle the truth, no. But she definitely does. I mean, look at the portrait. If that is not a face for radio, then I don't know what is. We get the slam build by her. Furious Blow is in the house. We have, on the other hand, Chromie already getting with a deep breathing, a few more stacks in, and Sonya is alive? Okay. Fair enough. A little bit shocked that nobody killed her. By the way, amazed. Look at this mount. Oh my god. Epic and unique. I wish I had a mount like this. It is so epic and unique. Woo! That is getting the Epic Mount Award here today. Fantastic. Very, very unique. Very, very epic. Much wow. But yeah, so Sonya, they let her go. It honestly felt like a little bit of a mercy play, but either or, we now got the taunt in, and we got the Master Assassin. A little prisoner over here, and he's in immediate trouble. He's like, help! Team! Help! Yeah, it's not looking good. He might have to ride away on his unique and epic mount. This entire wall is getting heavily destroyed. The side walls too. Medivh is trying to facilitate a little bit of a move here with the portals, but yeah, it's not really looking too good. Only has 4 stacks, by the way. So 4 stacks for Medivh's baseline. Not too good. Not really too good here. Sephiroth, again, he's a bird. He's just flying around. He's trying to do his thing. It's not a raven, he's a pigeon. He's an air rat. And at the same time now, the Raven Familiar down here. We got the static barrier. Sonya gets some assist as they are hoping for... I was about to say another kill against her, but that would have been the first one. And we have a pause. I don't think that Unforgiven dropped. That's good news. Cure is still here as well. Top side is our 1 versus 1 between Gavlo, Not Prepared. No gems have been turned in, by the way, so nobody has delivered any gems in this game yet. We still have 48 to 42. There's a 1 kill advantage for the Raiders, but nothing besides that. With level 4 talents on both teams, we have a bit of an experience advantage for the Raiders. Nothing too crazy, But yeah, they are going to try and get some kills in with Varian soon, I suppose. Especially against Medivh, it would be kind of nice, because he has ramped up his stacking game a little bit and is now sitting at 12. But yeah, no turn-in attempts really have been made. They could start to deliver, at least with the side laner here. Nano, for example, is holding 14, so he could easily turn in right now. Medivh is in a similar spot up at the top. But off we go. We got the taunt, and he's dead. Yep, that's that. Nicely done. Quick kill, 2 kills to 0. Mephisto is gone. And with that, we have the turn-in opportunity that I was talking about. So they should get the Web Weavers here. They have the talent advantage already. The red Web Weavers are going to be descending and very likely going to take down the bottom fort here. That's at least what we can expect. I mean, they already have done so much damage here with the wall destroyed that it would be a surprise if they couldn't get the fort. The defense is of course going to try and prevent that from happening, but that might open up opportunities at the top and mid lane. Especially top side. I mean, Khaldor is now in the unfortunate situation that he's most likely going to die here. If not for that, then I think they had a chance. But not prepared, came in and took him down. So great job. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate for them. Now they push only with 4. And they're losing Rega too. Rega got wrecked. Down he goes, and that is more than a little bit unfortunate. You get an objective and then you lose 2 heroes pretty much immediately, which means that your Web Weavers are not doing a whole lot. The bottom fort is barely damaged. Same time we have in the middle of the map the Web Weavers attacked and eliminated just as they're taking the wall down, and up at the top it has done absolutely nothing. So that was a really good objective for the blue team. Doesn't get much better than that. Barely any damage done. They're drawing even in experience and kills now, so this is looking very good. That's actually really nice plays from Team Madness. Perfect timing on those kills. And for Khaldor, it must be a bit annoying to die in a situation like that. He got soloed by Maiev at the top. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate for him. But job well done. Now let's see if the blue team can turn in. They haven't delivered any gems yet, so they're still waiting for their first Web Weaver wave 2. And technically, of course, they could still lose these gems as well. A play about to be made here. They're looking again for Mephisto. And he's making his way out, or at least he was about to, and then Chromie came again with another barrage. And dropped him a bit lower. Couldn't get the kill though. Camp was taken at the same time, so it gives them an advantage in the mid lane. They could try and exploit by maybe going through that wall after all, destroying the 2 mid lane towers they had to keep up earlier. And he has level 10, so with Odin they can siege up on this one. We got the last rights, even more potential for killing an isolated target. At least if Medivh doesn't have access to his shield cooldown. Chromie completing her quest too, and they are sieging up very quickly. They're trying to exploit this as best as they can. And they steal the camp away. So Sonya goes down on the left side, and that's also the first stack for the last rights. Malthael making up for the earlier death. That's a double camp in the middle that is now pushing here. That's an absolute disaster for them. And up at the top lane, the fort goes down. What they couldn't accomplish with the objective earlier, they now did with level 10. They used that small window that they had with heroic abilities, came in and absolutely crushed. They took 2 forts down, they stole a camp away, they got a kill, and now they're instantly transitioning to take the boss. Very well done by the Raiders. I gotta give them that. They didn't really do a whole lot earlier with the first move for the objective, but this one a lot better. Now we got the Poly Bomb, we got Leap, and we also have the Durance of Fate. The Angel of Death is deaded again, so yep, he very quickly dropped the bucket down there. So once again, he dies. It's kind of nice also, by the way, to see like the Poly Bomb and the Leap once more. So maybe they can play around that, and they're already trying. Not Prepared has 43 gems, by the way. So yeah, 43 gems, he can't die. If Maiev dies, their ticket's gone. Another one that really doesn't want to die is Medivh. I was talking about the lack of stacks earlier, and he was a little bit low. He's now sitting at 28, so yeah, you don't want to go down there. Another nice attack. There's the taunt. And they might just get that kill. Yep, they are. Bam! Chromie hammering them into the ground. Shut up. Alright, so Chromie comes in, takes down Sonya. They're hoping for more kills. Good damage from Mephisto, but not enough to get the counter kill on Rhaegar. And immediately we got Odin in again. Another taunt, another hit in the last right. Kind of cute, but that's not happening. I mean, not even close. That barely made a dent. By now we have the level 13 available on them. Wait, did Chromie just yay? I didn't do that. What? I mean, somebody hasn't been slapped around enough in this game, apparently. Alright. But yeah. What the hell? 4 kills to 3. 13 is in. That gives us the inevitable end. I am inevitable. So, Gavlo is currently cosplaying Thanos here. No levels. Oh, so close. And yet so far. I'm lying, it wasn't close at all. So Mephisto using his ult, trying to trap them, but I don't see this working. I mean, maybe if Sonya instantly follows up on a potential hit with a leap, but even that is a bit questionable. So now the second time in this game, the Red Web Weavers are gonna descend, and it seems like Malthael is dying again. Nice, he's getting out this time. So yeah, we have still a talent advantage for a little bit longer. We have the bot and the mid lane heavily pushed out, so Varian has been busy there, and it's going to definitely cost them a lot of HP on these walls, and most likely a keep is going to get destroyed here too, unless they're able to get a kill. Will be interesting. Will be very, very interesting how much they can do with this one, because they set it up nearly perfectly. Top side is getting pressure. Down at the bottom of the map, Sonya with the solo defense. Another kill. This time Maiev is down. All those gems! And Medivh gets a couple of them and is able to safeguard a few, but not all. They are going for the keep at the top and the mid lane. Level 16 is also very close. Only half a level until they get access to the next talent. They're trying again for Mephisto. Big shove coming in. And the keeps are falling all over the place. Sonya with a big hit. But the Ancestral was there when it was needed. Sonya died. She at least helped some of her allies to escape, but with 2 keeps now destroyed, this could be the play for Core. Unforgiven is trying to survive through all of this. Maiev was hoping to get a kill and shut the healer out, but that's not happening. Instead, we're seeing Mephisto, Malthael going for Medivh, and he has his quest completed, so he didn't lose the stacks, but they're losing the game. So it doesn't really help him a whole lot that he still has the stacks available. Another kill as Mephisto falls, and this is the end. A 3-0 victory for the Finland Raiders in their first best of 5 in Group D. Congratulations. Well played by the team in red. Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.